In the heart of ancient Greece, a profound intellectual revolution was about to unfold. Driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge, philosophers began to question the very foundations of existence, morality, and the nature of reality. Among these pioneering thinkers stood Plato, a towering figure whose philosophical inquiries would leave an indelible mark on Western thought. Central to Plato's philosophical system was a profound exploration of method, a systematic approach to acquiring knowledge and uncovering truth. This exploration delves into the intricate tapestry of Plato's philosophical methodology, examining its key elements, its significance within the broader context of ancient Greek thought, and its enduring legacy in shaping the course of philosophical inquiry. Plato's philosophical journey was deeply intertwined with the intellectual climate of his time. Athens' burgeoning democracy, with its emphasis on reason, debate, and dialogue as means of pursuing truth, provided a fertile ground for philosophical discourse. Yet this era was also marked by a sense of intellectual rebellion. Traditional myths and explanations passed down through poets and storytellers were being questioned by a new breed of thinkers, the sophists. These itinerant teachers captivated audiences with their rhetorical skills and their skepticism towards absolute truth. Witnessing the intellectual ferment of his time, Plato recognized the need for a rigorous and reliable method to disentangle true knowledge from mere opinion and to establish a firm foundation for philosophical inquiry. Plato's philosophical method emerged as a direct response to the intellectual challenges posed by the sophists and the quest for a secure path to knowledge. Recognizing the limitations of sensory experience and the subjective nature of individual opinions, Plato sought a method that could transcend the world of appearances and grasp the eternal, unchanging truths that lay at the heart of reality. This pursuit led him to develop his distinctive philosophical methodology, characterized by its emphasis on reason, logical analysis, and a hierarchical understanding of knowledge. Through dialogues, particularly those featuring his mentor Socrates, Plato offered a compelling vision of philosophy as a disciplined and rigorous pursuit, demanding intellectual humility, a willingness to question assumptions, and an unwavering commitment to seeking truth. At the heart of Plato's philosophical method lies dialectic, a dynamic process of inquiry that forms the cornerstone of his approach to knowledge. Plato's dialectic, while deeply influenced by the Socratic method of questioning, moves beyond his predecessor, evolving into a sophisticated system for uncovering truth through reasoned argumentation and critical analysis. To fully grasp the significance of Plato's dialectic, we must first delve into its Socratic roots, tracing its transformation from a method of exposing ignorance to a powerful tool for constructing knowledge. Socrates, Plato's mentor, and a pivotal figure in the development of Western philosophy, employed a distinctive method of inquiry centered around posing a series of probing questions to his interlocutors. Through this relentless questioning, Socrates aimed to expose contradictions in their beliefs, challenge their assumptions, and ultimately guide them towards a deeper understanding of the subject at hand. Often referred to as the Socratic method or elenchus, this method typically began with Socrates feigning ignorance and posing seemingly simple questions. However, as the conversation progressed, his questions would become increasingly pointed, exposing inconsistencies and forcing his interlocutors to confront the limitations of their own knowledge. Deeply influenced by Socrates' method, Plato recognized its potential as a powerful tool for philosophical inquiry. Yet he also perceived a need to further develop and refine it. While the Socratic method excelled at dismantling false beliefs and revealing the depths of one's ignorance, Plato sought a method that could not only eliminate flawed ideas, but also construct a positive account of knowledge. This led him to develop his distinctive conception of dialectic, building upon the foundations laid by Socrates as a more systematic and comprehensive approach to philosophical inquiry. At the heart of Plato's philosophical system lies the concept of anamnesis, often translated as recollection, which forges a vital link between his epistemology and his metaphysics. Deeply rooted in the intellectual and spiritual traditions of ancient Greece, This intriguing concept suggests that true knowledge is acquired not through sensory experience, but rather through a process of remembering what our souls have already learned in a previous existence. To fully grasp the significance of anamnesis, we must explore its connection to Plato's theory of forms, his assertion of a realm of eternal, unchanging essences that transcends the limits of the physical world. One of the cornerstones of Plato's metaphysics, the theory of forms posits that the physical world we perceive with our senses is but a pale imitation of a higher, more perfect realm, the world of forms. These forms, such as justice, beauty, and goodness, are not material objects, but abstract, eternal, and unchanging essences that serve as the ultimate blueprints for everything that exists in the physical world. For Plato, the forms are not merely concepts or ideas in our minds, but objective realities that exist independently of our thoughts and perceptions. They are the objects of true knowledge, and it is through grasping these forms that we can attain genuine understanding and wisdom. Anamnesis, in the context of Plato's philosophy, is the process by which our souls recall the knowledge they acquired in the world of forms prior to our earthly existence. Plato believed that our souls, being immortal and eternal, once inhabited this realm of forms and had direct apprehension of these perfect essences. Upon entering the physical world and taking on a human body, our souls forgot this divine knowledge. However, through philosophical inquiry, particularly through the rigorous practice of dialectic, we can trigger a process of anamnesis, drawing out the latent knowledge that lies dormant within the depths of our souls. Plato's philosophical project unfolded against a backdrop of intense intellectual ferment, marked by the rise of a new breed of thinkers known as the Sophists. Renowned for their rhetorical skills and pragmatic approach to knowledge, these itinerant teachers profoundly impacted the intellectual landscape of ancient Greece, challenging traditional notions of truth and morality. To fully appreciate the significance of Plato's philosophical method, it is crucial to understand the Sophists' challenge, their skeptical stance towards absolute truth, and their emphasis on rhetoric as a tool of persuasion rather than a means of uncovering objective knowledge. Often described as the first professional intellectuals, the Sophists travelled from city to city, offering their services as teachers of rhetoric, argumentation, and the art of persuasion. They catered to the growing demand for effective communication skills in the increasingly democratic city-states of ancient Greece, where the ability to argue persuasively was essential for success in both public and private life. The Sophists' emphasis on practical skills and their skepticism towards traditional sources of authority resonated with many in this era of intellectual and social change. Central to the Sophists' worldview was their skepticism towards the existence of absolute truth. Unlike Plato, who believed in the possibility of attaining objective knowledge through reason and dialectic, the Sophists argued that truth was relative, subjective, and often dependent on the context of the argument. As Protagoras, a prominent sophist, famously declared, "Man is the measure of all things," suggesting that truth was subjective and varied from individual to individual. This relativistic stance, while challenging traditional beliefs, raised profound questions about the nature of knowledge, morality, and the foundations of society. Part 5. Plato's response dialectic as the path to knowledge and virtue. Witnessing the intellectual ferment sparked by the Sophists, Plato recognized both the allure and the dangers of their relativistic worldview. While acknowledging the importance of rhetoric as a tool of communication, he vehemently opposed the Sophists' skepticism towards absolute truth, viewing the prioritization of persuasion over the pursuit of truth as a threat to the very foundations of knowledge and morality. In response to the Sophists' challenge, Plato developed and refined his distinctive philosophical method, placing dialectic at its center as the path to true knowledge and virtue. For Plato, the pursuit of knowledge was not merely an intellectual exercise, but an ethical imperative, inextricably linked to the cultivation of virtue and the realization of one's full human potential. He believed that true knowledge attainable through the rigorous application of reason and dialectic, had the power to transform individuals, leading them out of the cave of ignorance and the shadows of opinion into the illuminating light of truth and wisdom. This transformative power of knowledge for Plato was not confined to the intellectual realm, but extended to the moral and ethical dimensions of human existence. Dialectic, in Plato's view, was not merely a method of argumentation, but a transformative journey of the soul, a process of intellectual and spiritual ascent from the world of appearances to the world of forms. Through the careful examination of concepts, the identification of contradictions, and the relentless pursuit of logical consistency, dialectic enabled individuals to shed their preconceived notions, challenge their assumptions, and gradually grasp the eternal, unchanging truths that lay at the heart of reality. This process of intellectual ascent for Plato was inseparable from the cultivation of virtue, for the pursuit of truth demanded intellectual humility, honesty, and an unwavering commitment to the good. Part 6. The structure of dialectic ascent-descent and the divided line. Plato's understanding of dialectic extends beyond a simple question-and-answer method, encompassing a structured and hierarchical approach to acquiring knowledge. He envisioned dialectic as a two-way process, an ascent from the world of appearances to the world of forms, followed by a descent back to the world of particulars, now illuminated by the light of true understanding. To illustrate this dynamic process, Plato employed the analogy of the divided line, a powerful metaphor that captures the hierarchical nature of knowledge and the stages involved in the dialectical journey. Presented in Plato's dialogue, The Republic, the divided line serves as a visual representation of his theory of forms and its relationship to different levels of human cognition. Plato divides the line into two unequal segments, each representing a distinct realm of existence, the visible world of appearances and the intelligible world of forms. The visible world, represented by the lower segment, is further divided into two sections, corresponding to the levels of imagination, aikasia, and belief, pistis. Imagination, the lowest level of cognition, is characterized by our reliance on images, shadows, and reflections, while belief represents a more stable but still fallible form of knowledge based on sensory experience. The upper segment of the divided line represents the intelligible world of forms, which is itself divided into two sections, thought, dianoia, and understanding, noesis. Thought, a lower level of intellectual apprehension, involves reasoning based on hypotheses and assumptions, while understanding, the highest level of cognition, represents the direct and intuitive grasp of the forms themselves. It is through the rigorous practice of dialectic, an intellectual ascent that leads the philosopher out of the cave of shadows and into the illuminating light of truth, that this highest level of knowledge is attained, according to Plato. Part 7. The enduring legacy of Plato's method, from antiquity to modernity. Plato's philosophical method, with its emphasis on reason, dialectic, and the pursuit of eternal truths, has cast a long and influential shadow on the history of Western thought. From the ancient philosophical schools that emerged in his wake to the modern movements that continue to grapple with his ideas, Plato's methodological innovations have shaped the course of philosophical inquiry, leaving an indelible mark on diverse fields such as metaphysics, ethics, political philosophy, and the philosophy of science. In the centuries following Plato's death, his academy in Athens flourished as a vibrant center of philosophical debate, attracting some of the brightest minds of the ancient world. Aristotle, Plato's most famous student, while eventually developing his own distinctive philosophical system, inherited his mentor's commitment to the pursuit of knowledge through rigorous observation, logical analysis, and reasoned argumentation. The Stoics, another influential school of thought that emerged during the Hellenistic period, embraced Plato's emphasis on virtue as the ultimate aim of human life, integrating his ethical teachings into their own philosophical framework. The influence of Plato's method extended far beyond the confines of ancient philosophy, leaving its mark on the development of Christian theology, medieval scholasticism, and the Renaissance humanists' rediscovery of classical learning. Augustine of Hippo, a towering figure in the development of Christian thought, drew heavily on Plato's philosophical system, integrating elements of his metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics into a Christian framework. Thomas Aquinas, the great mind of medieval scholasticism, sought to reconcile Aristotle's philosophy with Christian doctrine, demonstrating the enduring influence of Plato's student on the intellectual landscape of the Middle Ages. Part 8. Conclusion: the unfading relevance of Plato's philosophical pursuit. Plato's philosophical method, with its emphasis on reason, dialectic, and the pursuit of eternal truths, stands as a testament to the enduring power of the human mind and its capacity to illuminate the mysteries of existence. While the specific content of Plato's philosophical system remains open to debate and interpretation, his unwavering commitment to the pursuit of knowledge, his rigorous methodology, and his profound insights into the human condition continue to resonate with philosophers and thinkers centuries later. In an age often characterized by relativism, skepticism, and the fragmentation of knowledge, Plato's philosophy serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of seeking common ground, engaging in rational discourse, and striving for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. His emphasis on the transformative power of knowledge, his belief in the inherent value of philosophical inquiry, and his unwavering faith in the human capacity for reason continue to inspire and challenge us to embark on our own journeys of intellectual and spiritual discovery. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, grappling with novel ethical dilemmas, technological advancements, and a rapidly changing world, Plato's philosophical legacy offers valuable insights and a timeless framework for approaching the challenges of our time. His emphasis on the cultivation of virtue, his warnings against the dangers of unchecked power, and his enduring belief in the importance of education for the betterment of both individuals and society offer enduring lessons for navigating the complexities of the human condition.